Welcome back to the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D with Vinny and Jeremy, and we are going to have a guest. We have our guest here.
So she's connecting now.
Her audio's connecting.
We see you.
Here we
We're
are.
waiting for your. There
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going. I was just looking for something while I was thinking about it.
What were you looking for? Cosplay things.
That
I like
wrote down.
I like your backdrop. I like your
Thank
background
you.
there.
I got it on Amazon with Prime shipping.
Nice. Nicely
Well,
played.
It only
My
took.
wife might like that. I might have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Room divider, flowers.
Nice.
That's what you should search for.
Well, just to put a face to everyone, I'm Mike D. I'm the one who's been annoying you on Instagram.
No worries. No worries.
I have
He
Vinny
annoys
and
us,
Jeremy
too.
here. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Vinny, what was your question for Liz here?
Oh, what do you want us to call you? Liz? I mean, is there a character we call you?
Liz. I mean, my friends call me Lizard too. My family calls me
Lizard too?
No, just Lizard.
Oh,
Minus
okay.
the two. There's only one.
Lizard.
Hopefully there will only ever be one, but unless they learn. I saw they cloned a extinct ferret the other day, so maybe
That sounds like a
Maybe.
good idea.
Cloned ferret. That sounds
Yes.
fantastic.
it was a
Start bringing back
black-footed
animals
ferret.
that are extinct.
Yeah, they're only extinct for reasons of humans being potatoes. So yeah.
All right.
Well, I just wanted to say we really appreciate you being here. You're our first official cosplay guest, and like I told you before, and we mentioned on the podcast before, we've been trying to get a little bit more into like conventions and cosplay. And so these two, Vinny, I know we talked a little bit about Dragon Con when I was up there one time. Jeremy, I don't think you've ever been to a convention. I've been to like San Diego, New York, Dragon Con, MegaCon, Tampa Bay. I've been across. I like going. Obviously, with the pandemic, it's a little messy right now, but yeah, I mean, we just wanted to talk to you, kind of get a professional's view. I know.
Easy with that professional word there, Mike.
I know.
Easy.
But hey, listen, you have a lot more experience than we do. What are you pointing at?
Yeah. Fake it till you make it, right? That's what they
exactly.
say. I've made money, but not enough to live on. So I have.
Well, that's a good thing. Absolutely. Hey, whatever you do
Just,
yeah.
Get extra
That's-
Starbucks.
How have you been handling the pandemic with all this? I mean, have you been doing anything?
So it kind of lined up nicely with a lot of other things that happened. So I moved into Hawaii in December 2019 for work. In real life, I'm a meteorologist. I do weather stuff like a real one.
Wow.
Not like I'm a real boy, No, I get
You're not
actually,
reading the weather. You actually do the science.
I'm doing the science part of
There
it.
you go.
So, but now I'm the people person that has to talk to all the fancy people when bad things happen. So, I'm kind of like head of PR. So,
Nice.
which is great. It's funny because, I never wanted to be a TV meteorologist because, I hate video cameras and talking in front of cameras. But
You're
then,
kidding.
Welcome to the show.
Wow. Wow.
well, yeah, it's funny how that worked out. So,
Consider this practice then.
I mean, when everything goes to shit, it's fine. No, I'm kidding. But I'm cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
But
you gotta be.
the pandemic hit. March. It was weird. I was having some weird, freaky medical issues in January, and I'm like, this is not good. I should go see the doctor. And so I got in to see the doctor in March, just when the pandemic started, and especially out here. And my doctor did her lady exam, and she was like, so I don't know how to tell you this, but
Just give it to us straight.
yeah, you need a hysterectomy. And I was like, what? So,
Wow.
and then I was like, wait, Then she goes, okay. So to explain this simply, Liz. Okay, now I'm gonna freak everybody out right off the bat. Your lady box should be this big, and your lady box is this big. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, so I have an excuse for being fat. I got it. All right, cool. And she started laughing. And so it turns around I had 30 to 50. They couldn't count them all. From a centimeter to 3.8 inches. 30 to 50 fibroid tumors. I no
Wow.
longer had a lady box anymore.
Wow, you
So
gotta be kidding.
yeah, and I was like, holy cow! Well, all
That's
right,
crazy.
cool. So I guess this is a good time to be teleworking. And then I had my surgery in September. You know, there were delays with COVID and everything else.
Sure.
And then December, I had day after Christmas, I had a surprise complication and emergency surgery. And now I'm waiting for another surgery to fix up that one. So pandemic's been great.
Yeah.
2020, what a year to go down in history.
Never forget
for
that year.
Everybody. Yeah,
Absolutely.
no. But luckily before the pandemic and everything hit, we did have a convention here in Hawaii. And I had just got here and I was like, hi Derek, can I be a guest? And they're like, sure. And I'm like, cool. So I got to guest out here before, you know, the world went into, you know, doomsday.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm fine. I'm perfectly
Good.
fine. So
That's
I got
good to hear.
my second vaccine this week.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
No, you're good
everybody
to go
should
then.
get it.
You're
Everybody
good
should
to
get
go.
So as soon as cons like open back up, like I'm ready. So
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
like it.
everybody's chomping at the bit, you know, to get out there and get into character again.
Oh, I
When you
can't
said
wait.
it was fun, I sensed a little bit of sarcasm. I don't know.
I mean, you know, fun is in the eye of the beholder, right? So
Well,
It's
she
your
had her
soul.
lady box removed. I would imagine
Yes.
there was a little sarcasm
It's
going on
no,
there.
I meant the
it's no this.
vaccine.
Oh, the
not
vaccine.
surgery.
Oh, the vaccine. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, you know, I found out with like I've been having a couple issues lately. It turns around I have like they think I have something called mastocytosis, which means I'm allergic to everything. Like I'm a bubble girl, pretty much.
Wow.
And I've been having all these like weird autoimmune reactions, and so I've been seeing an immunologist, and he was like, "Okay, so the vaccine might not go well because you have a history of violent like allergic reactions." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because this is what you're gonna do, okay? You know, you're gonna take 50 milligrams of Allegra and take like 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol like every 6 hours, and then we're gonna. And I was like, "Oh boy, all right, here we go," you know. And yeah, well, I got the shot at 7:30 in the morning. They held me for 30 minutes, and I was fine. And then around 1:30, I was like, I don't feel good. And then I was like, oh, I don't feel good. And then next thing I know, rash, face, arms by 2 o'clock, and I was taking medicine. I had the fever. I ended up getting the fever and the chills. You know, all the bad things that people get. I got every one except diarrhea. I'm very happy to say I did not shit my pants that night. So I'm very
Beautiful.
happy about that.
It goes back to our sponsor Depends that we're trying to get for Vinny. So
Yeah, that's right.
anyway,
Yeah.
Excellent.
maybe we can
Let
utilize
me tell
that.
you. Oh man, you know, I was at Costco yesterday, and it's funny because I was waiting for the better half. He was off looking for something, and I was standing in front of the pens, and this nice little old lady just looked at me. She was like, "Could you please move?" And I didn't realize like I was standing behind the Depends. And I'm like, "Oh, you need okay." And I just like, "Oh, sorry." And she just like looked at me, and I was like,
No smile from her or anything like that. Like it was like
you're on the way.
just like
You're in the way
She's
of her
picking up
diapers.
the
Get out of the
pen. She's not
way.
smiling.
He's like, "Excuse me," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go for your poop pants." You know? It was so awkward, man. Oh
Yeah.
man, it was
Oh my
fine.
God.
Imagine.
I'm blocking her diapers. So.
Don't block her diapers. Come
I'm
on.
blocking the Depends. Don't block the Depends.
Wow.
So.
Well, people are gonna have problems if they're blocking Depends from me because
Yeah.
I go through people.
Oh, is that so? Somebody used to say to me like, whenever you got diarrhea, like back when I was a kid growing up, my family are like comedians. They're great. Whenever you had diarrhea, I was like, "Oh yeah, so sick with diarrhea." They'd be like, "Oh well, can you shit through a screen door 10 paces away?" And I'd be like, "No, it's not
Wow.
that bad. It's not
Well,
that
there's
bad."
something.
That's like
That's a skill.
common, like weird Southern saying.
I don't think I could shit through a screen door if I was sitting on the screen door, let alone from 20 feet away.
New
Like,
nickname, the soft serve or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
The brown spitter.
yes. Oh, it's so
what's
true.
the how are you able to get the vaccine? Is the governor of your state like more relaxed than say Florida, where I can't even
no.
think about it, even though I'm kind of an essential employee?
Yeah, because I'm essential, and Hawaii's
Okay.
done a fantastic job. everybody still complains though, but like, I mean, I think we had like 50 cases yesterday. Like if we get over, I think our worst day was like 280 or something, but
Wow.
we have 1 million people on Oahu, which is the island I live on. I work in like Honolulu, Pearl Harbor. So,
Mhm.
but we only have like 441 respirators, or sorry, no, is that what I call it? Yeah, respirators, like throughout the island. So not respirators, what are they called?
Ventilators.
Ventilators. There you go.
I was like respirator, ventilator.
Hey, you're the scientist. I was letting you go with
It's fine. I'm a meteorologist, so I'm not a biologist. Okay.
the meteorologist, the
know.
50-50 guessing.
Exactly.
Figure
As
out.
they say, like, you know, like I'm a doctor, not a physician, you know, like sort of thing. So yeah, every time.
I guess I'm an idiot, or maybe not. Maybe it's just not common knowledge to me. Like,
You are.
thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's my best
It's
friend.
confirmed. It's confirmed. Confirmed.
Oahu, is that the big island on the Hawaiian side?
No. Big
Oh,
Island
okay.
is Big Island, actually. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
was
We're the second on the chain.
Second? Okay.
Yeah.
I got
So
you.
Kauai, Oahu, Maui, Molokai, Lanai. I know where I live. And then Big Island. So
I was just trying to figure out, are there more, and you might not know this yet because obviously the pandemic happened. Are there more than one convention for the state, considering how small Hawaii is? There are more than, okay.
They have like 4 a year. I only got to go to one. They have like a big one that's like a 4-day one, kind of like Dragon Con. Well, is Dragon Con 5 days now, or is it still 4? It's 4.
I think I went
right?
4. I
Like
went like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right? Yeah. Unofficial Monday too. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
yeah, those are great ones. But yeah, it was a small con. The one I went to here, it was Amazing Comic Con Aloha. So
Okay.
Aloha State.
So when you go to like a 4-day one, do you dress as one character all 4 days, or
Oh no.
a different character every day, or?
Listen, I sweat profusely. You don't want to be doing the same thing every day, okay? Like, oh, what a cute, like, Lolita lady. Oh, she smells like the bottom of the swamp. So, you know, I different every day. And sometimes I've done multiple in a day, which when you're working, that's no. When I'm working as a guest at a con or at a booth, I don't wear more than one a day usually. Or I'll wear some sort of like, or I'll change into a like I'll keep the hair and wig and makeup, and I'll just like wear like a casual outfit that kind of represents that character, just because I'm, you know, I want to be coordinated. But
So I haven't been. When you say working, what do you mean?
So if I have a booth or I'm working as a guest at the show, so there's different ways to work in cosplay. Some people, you know, they just do online, they make characters, they sell patterns. Other people are just drop dead gorgeous models, and they make that bread. You know, you have the OnlyFans people, then you got people like me now who do YouTube videos and I have the Patreon every month. If people like support my channel, you know, I send them a postcard of me in a cosplay, you know. With my job and where I'm at right now, I don't do like, I'm very like in the public, like dealing with military and like politicians now. So probably like prancing around in bikini is not the best idea anymore. So, but back in my younger days, you know, it is what it is. I could wear an elaborate like Renaissance style, like huge ball gown. I'd make one, or I could be like in a bikini. It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to be characters that I liked, you know.
And do you make most of your stuff yourself?
I used to make everything right in the beginning when I started, and then I started gaining some traction, and then I made the mistake of getting a PO box. I kid. And I started getting like fan mail in and costumes, and I'm like, you know. And then I got companies to hire me to make costumes for their character or to wear their outfits, or sponsors like, oh, here's a wig, review it, style it, here's some contacts. So for a while there, it was just such a hustle to keep up with all the stuff that was coming in. And I would still make a couple big builds here and there throughout the year. But I know one year between me making costumes and doing shows, I think I went to like 10 shows that year. And I made I did over 24 costumes. I made half of them, and that was like the craziest year of my life. Like it was just cosplay all the time. I go to work, do my job, I come home and like hit the sewing machine or like hit the social media, like work on my own marketing and things like that. I don't have any history per se as like being a businesswoman, so it's amazing like how much I learned since that time frame. I want to say like 2013 is really when I got back into it, and it was absolutely fascinating. Developing a store, like learning how to do taxes, like all the nitty gritty bitty pieces of business. I had to learn how to write contracts. I had to read contracts and sign them, or and put money aside for taxes. Like it really grew. But another to roundabout back to your question, a big thing when I first started guesting at shows, the first time I got asked to do this like comic book to help promote their comic book, to come and be a guest at their booth. I was like, okay. And they're like, you can bring your princess out. I was like, what is that? They're like, well, pictures of yourself that people buy and you sign. And I'm like, why would somebody want to buy a picture of me? And I was just like, that would make sense. I'm not a movie star, And I was like, oh, okay, I'll bring a couple photos. And then I sold out of the photos. I was like, oh, money. Okay. I get it. So I opened up an online store, and it just kind of grew from there, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You could be an MC. You can also host panels and workshops, and get paid at those too. You can like charge people to come to your workshops and do things like that. I'm not that fancy. That's too much work. So I usually be like, hey, I'm having a panel this day. We're going to work on armor building, or we're going to do makeup today, or we're going to talk about social media. So you name it, I've probably done it.
Sure.
I think we touched on Saint's question a little bit. I told you Saint, our buddy, who's the fourth guy, he's out in the middle of the Bering Sea right now. So I wanted to play his question for you, but if there's any new information to add him, let's do it. I'll play it now.
Alaska. But my question for you.
I failed.
Hey Liz, this is Saint. I asked some questions from far away in Alaska, but my question for you is, how deep into sewing does it take for you to make these costumes? I see some of them, they're very elaborate, and I was just wondering, is being very good at sewing a requirement, or do you try to piece together outfits from already made clothing? What's like the process that you have to go through when you finalize a design and decide to start making one of your cosplay costumes?
Oh yeah. So this is actually a great story. Honestly, where does anybody really start with cosplay? I mean, and especially if they have the mindset that they want to turn into a business. What type of business do they want to be? Like I said, they could do modeling. You could do competition based, which we'll get into the sewing part here in a second. They could do skit based, being an actor, putting on a skit. Personality, just being a person on the internet, kind of be a branding Instagram motto sort of thing, but just personality. But a big thing, a lot of cosplayers back in my day when we first started, in 2007, you couldn't go to these websites and buy stuff. Like if you wanted to be a character, you had to make it from scratch, or people would thrift clothes and stuff like that. I still get sent costumes, and they don't fit me right, so I do tailor them. But back when I started in 2007, I think the only thing I had made in my life was a set of curtains and a pillow and put a button back on a shirt, and there was no YouTube like today. So I literally bought textbooks and learned how to read. I didn't learn how to read. I learned how
I was going to get you there.
Wow.
I was like, wait a second. The words were coming as I was thinking about reading how to sew. I do this a lot. It's my personality. I jump a million miles per hour. My brain's always been like math, science, computers, so being an artist, my mom was an artist, and she was really big into like sewing and crafting and things like that. So she kind of helped me out with the sewing machine initially. There's things, if you want to be known for fabrication, if that's what you want your niche to be, if you want to make everything by scratch, you're gonna have to learn how to sew. There's no way around that. You want to make corsets or full ball gowns, you got to learn to sew. Luckily, it's so much easier nowadays on the internet. There's so many people out there willing to help and teach you and learn. I didn't know what the difference was of a knit fabric versus a woven, or how do I tell if this is cotton or if this is like polyester? All these like little things you wouldn't really think about. Photography has been kind of like that too. That's another skill set I've been working on and building. But cosplay can be as hands off or as immersive as you like, right? So you can start from scratch. You can buy your bolts of fabric and like put stuff together and sew it, or you can just buy something pre-made off of the internet. Or a lot of ways people make money too is they hire somebody to do it for them. And you know,
There you go.
commission-based work is great. I say that. I've done commission-based work. I used to do commission-based work back in the day because I was like, oh, I can make money making these costumes on the side for people. Sure, yeah, why not? Yeah, you know, people are picky, or people will be weird, and people would change their minds halfway through the design. And I, being me, like I'm like a yes man. Yeah, I'll totally do that. I'll totally do that. And end up.
Well, you said
I
yes
didn't
to being
know.
on the show.
It's true. It's true. Well, I love talking about cosplay. I'm
Absolutely.
very lucky and grateful that I've had the opportunity to represent the community, and I've always tried to put my best foot forward. But I
can-
you know, I don't want to give people, you know, the mindset that this is just like, oh, yeah. There's trials and tribulations.
Sure. Well, I can tell you're very passionate about it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of new to the cosplay thing.
Mhm.
Mike's kind of giving me pointers here and there about it, but where exactly do these characters come from? Are they part of comics, movies? Are they
Have
just
you-
originated by
Mhm.
certain people?
Well, have you ever dressed up for Halloween?
Well, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
how did you pick those characters?
Yeah. Well, the ghost is Halloweeny and the skeleton is Halloweeny. You know,
Yeah.
the characters basically are always been there. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
kids dress up as ghosts and superheroes and blah blah blah.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and that's basically what I would do. I would never really invent a new character. I would just be something
Yeah.
that already was.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I don't know. So these characters are just based on whatever people come up with in their minds.
It can be. I've
Okay.
done original characters too. I've done characters for people's like video games that they've wanted to bring to life, and you know, comic books. Also, I think sometimes for me too, it's characters that I just like love and connect with. That's a big part of it. Characters that make me laugh or entertaining. I like characters really that complement my personality too, because I'm pretty high energy and you know, antics. But at the
Yes.
same time too, I will take characters that are completely like they're like super serious, you know, and try to like make those come to life. I always like, you know, as a kid I did like theater and all that stuff, and I always loved like that side, that art, just kind of being zany. You know, I loved Robin Williams and Jim Carrey, and me and my
Oh,
brother
sure.
would act out little skits and stuff. So I just, when I first started cosplay though, I was the hardcore cosplay role player. You don't see that much anymore. The reason I got established and known in the beginning was because of my skip based stuff. I wasn't bad at sewing. I had gotten best in shows already and like won several contests, but I really liked bringing characters to life. I liked being that character, just kind of being zany, watching people laugh. You know,
Sure.
I always wanted to be like an entertainer in that regard. Don't get me wrong, weather's my first love and my first passion. So once I got through the many years of school it took, you know, and once I finally like hit that point, like, wow, I get to do what I love. And I was like, okay, we made it.
Okay.
The hell do we do now in our spare time, you know?
Yeah,
and
right.
then my friend was getting married, and she was like, well, okay, well, in college we all went and we cosplayed a couple times. I did a couple times through college, but once I got into, you know, my job now, or the career path that I'm in now, my friend was getting married, and we're like, we're gonna go to Dragon Con for a honeymoon, you know, let's go ahead and we're all gonna dress up and cosplay and everything. And I was like, yeah, this is right. And then I spent months working on like 2 costumes, and I also, well, I made everything, and I worked months, and this was like 2012, 2013, I want to say. And that's when I spent months, and then that's when I started the Instagram page and everything. I was documenting my process because I always watched other people doing it too. It was weird because like on that Dragon Con, like I wore different outfits every day, and it was the first time that I got that like that overwhelming just kind of like people looking at you, you know, and like, let me take your picture. And it was weird because it was kind of like it was validation of all the months of hard work that I put in.
Sure.
And it's funny, the costume that I dumped like the most time into, like hours, nobody knew it, but people kept stopping and talking to me and asking me about it. I'm like, oh, this is Olasile. This is Dusk of Olasile from Dark Souls. Demon Souls. And no, Dark Souls. I'm wearing my Dark Souls shirt right now, so my brain's like fried. So from Dark Souls, and I loved her, and she's a great character. And it's funny, but when that one, like literally, I think like 3 people like that day knew who I was. But when they did, I fell in love because like, how do I say this? Cosplay is not like, it's weird. You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But with cosplay, you see somebody that like likes what you know that you got that connection. Well, usually nowadays it's a little different, but back then you'd be like, I love that too, and then you would just have conversations about the love of the game and like the obsessiveness of it. That's why you see a lot of big World of Warcraft, people and stuff like that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mine was so niche too, and it did so well. And I also did, I loved Super Smash Brothers. I played it like religiously with my friends all the time. And I did Wii Fit Trainer. And that was great because it painted my whole body white. Nobody warned me though that like the liquid latex I used to put on my body had to come off in a very painful manner.
I'm sure.
And literally 3 people, help me! Like scrubbing my body. Like, I'm dying. And then I also did another character too, but it was weird. Like people liked my costume so much, I couldn't like. I'd be like, I have to go pee, but there's too many people taking my phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it definitely was kind of like that. It was validation. Yeah, a million percent. Somebody was really appreciating the work that I did, or they thought it looked cool enough to like hit me up and talk to me about it. And I fell in love with that, and I'm like, holy shit. And then I saw people could make money doing it, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to be a guest one day.
Bonus.
Yeah. So that's when I just started the grinding out costume after costume, just like, I want to be popular, and I want to work at the shows, and I want to tell people how much I love cosplay. It's so great, But again, it's not all roses. There are hiccups and things you need to learn, I guess, through the process of any
as in everything.
In
as in everything. Sure.
Exactly.
That was my I had gone to MegaCon in 2013. I think Dragon Con was 2013. So I probably ran into you, but didn't know you at the time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like this is weird because I'm doing a podcast, but like normally I'm kind of shy and reserved. I know Jeremy doesn't agree with that, but no, but like around new people Jeremy. So like I found myself nervous to approach even just someone doing cosplay or whatnot, just like someone with a booth and whatnot. The first person I approached, and I actually have 3 of her prints right in front of me. I have Destiny Nicholson. I don't know. Do you know who she is?
She's a sweetheart. Yeah. She's a really nice gal.
She was so sweet, so nice and so after that, it made me feel comfortable. I think the next year I went to Tampa Bay and I ran into people like she was going to buy Dahlia Thomas at the time, and now it's Danica. And Ellie Marie now. Danielle.
Me and Danielle talk daily. She's a good friend of mine. She's a doll. I'm so happy. I just want to say, like, I'm so happy for like all the girls' success, especially Danielle. So
yeah,
we were bridesmaids together at a friend's wedding, and she does so well. I'm so happy for her. I'm like, you
guys have a lot of you guys used, I think this did you use David Love as a photographer a few times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you guys have like a lot of commonality right there, like you got a group of you guys together.
That's kind of like how I met everybody too. And people, they've like branched and gone their separate ways, and gotcha. Some would pursue other interests and others would just go, like life takes you different directions, right? So I think some of the people I still keep in touch with. I mean, I have friends who are like doing amazing. You know what I mean? Like they're like, even in like what I do at my job. I mean, I could never make that much money. You know what I mean? I'm like, good for you, man. I think it takes. It's hard to. How do I say this? Yeah, we all met through David. I'll jump back to David. I really like David's work, and I was like, hey there, I'm Liz. I'd love to shoot with you. What are your rates? And like, when can I come? So then I drove from Key West, Florida, like 9 hours to this tiny little house outside of Orlando with some dude I never met. And I'm like, oh God, you know, I'm like, please. I'm like, no, it's fine, you know. And then like I shot with him and I got to know him, and you know, I'm great. I had the opportunity to work with him. His work's amazing. I highly recommend it, you know.
Did you do the paint series with him? Did he do the paint?
Did.
Like, yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
I did.
That's one of my favorite. Like, I know some of the other girls did it too, but like, I love that series. It's very colorful. It's really done well. I know.
Yeah.
Easy, Mike. Easy, buddy.
Oh,
yeah.
Shut up.
Well, it's funny. I actually, so he did it. Okay. So I'm not a prude. Okay. So David did a kind of like an artistic series of like women nude doing like chores around the house. It kind of like it was like his artistic piece of like women doing things. And I remember I like called my mom and I was like, Mom, so I want to do this like nude artistic thing, and you could be mad at me, you know. She was like, I don't know, that's fine, whatever, do what you want, you know.
Are you getting paid?
I'm like, all right, yeah. So, like, I think he did, Danielle's was like, I want to say Danielle's was like ironing, and then like somebody else, but mine was like mowing the lawn. Like, it was just me like naked mowing the lawn. Like, there's nothing sexual about the photo. It's just like a side shot of me like, da, 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 da. I was like, okay, Mom. And I showed my mom, and she loses it. She starts laughing, and I'm like, what's so funny? And she's like, you've never mowed the damn lawn in your life. And I was like, ah!
It wasn't about the nude. It was about you never cut the grass before.
And she was like, oh, so my mom pretty much like, you're such a poser, you know. I was like, ah, you know. So I just started laughing. But yeah, so I did a couple things too with him. Like, I did a Mystique, and then I did my signature, my own lizard like design, like lady lizard thing. So I really stepped outside my comfort zone to do those, because before, I'll tell you this, the first cosplay I ever did like that was like kind of revealing like bikini style was Maru from Legend Dragoon, which you guys are like, the hell is that? So it's this old PS1 Japanese role-playing game, JRPG. And this girl, like when I was like 10 or 11, like I played this game, and she was this bubbly girl, and she had a hammer, and she smacked people, and she like would shoot bubbles, and she was just so happy. And I'm like, that's who I want to be when I grow up, you know? And I remember like I was just like, you know, shaking in the car. My better half's like, you've worked on this for months. Get the hell out of the car. Get inside MegaCon now. And I was like, I can't, you go, you know. And I remember I took 3 steps out of the truck, and some guy goes, Maru. And I look up, and I'm like, oh my God. And then like, you know, it was really funny because I didn't realize like how shy I was, or like how reserved I was before that, you know. It was kind of an eye-opening experience, and cosplay really let me like become more comfortable with myself as a person too. And holy cow though, like I started talking to the guy about the thing, and I was like, I'm fine, whatever, who gives a shit, you know. So
I think that's what they don't.
That too.
Yeah, I think that's what the guys don't know yet. We're hopefully going to go to MegaCon this August if everything goes well. But they, you know, like you said, people will just shout out, you know, names of whoever they see, like their characters, get a photo, hopefully, you know, and it's just, and, you know, you react however you're going to react.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had this, like, me and the dude, like, we walked into MegaCon 3000 and we're just talking about the game. Like, oh my God, you know, with this character, you know, I mean, you know, and it was just like, it was really cool, you know, just to find so many people with commonalities. Because I was a nerdy kid in high school. If you can't tell, I've been told I haven't changed the day since I was 4. So I have I call myself a socially awkward extrovert. I share a lot, and I'm just like really intense. So cosplay was perfect for me, man.
Absolutely.
I always loved Halloween. So.
And yeah, speaking back to your point that I forgot to touch on before, the Jeremy and Vinny, they'll learn. And I don't want to make fun of anyone. I'm not making fun of anyone, but like Confunk, that's a real thing. Like they don't know what Confunk is.
There's like they have like Dragon Con. What's it? Dragon Con has like a 3-2-1 rule: 3 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, and 1 shower. You got to do that. All right, that's the 3-2-1 of cons. Like, you know what I mean? Please bathe.
The smell around conventions, especially one of the later days, if everyone's still there. Sure. Saturday's pretty bad, I think, because, you know, you get a lot more people, but it can get a little little rough if so when Liz was talking about, she can't wear the same costume or more than one costume, it can get a little much. So that's a real thing. Con crud, also a real thing. I just wanted to mention that to the guys. That's you getting sick the next week from everyone else. So
yeah, sure. Con crud. Nice. Sweet.
That sucks.
Making this sound appealing.
No,
it's
but
great.
Yeah.
What you do, okay? Like
Mike.
3 days before you go, you pump that vitamin C, man. You pump it. You get ready, all right? Because it's going to
She's a
happen.
scientist.
I'm telling you, man.
That's right. I'll take your word for it. Absolutely.
But it's what you put up with to because they're so much fun. I mean, I'm sure even as just an attendee, I'm sure you can say how fun it is. You don't have to be hosting a panel or having a table and interacting with people, because that's a different experience than from myself just going to panels and meeting people and things like that. So you have a lot of time during the days where sometimes, I mean, how long do you spend all day at your table sometimes, or is that? Yeah.
It depends usually on what the contract I have with the con is. So if they hire me as a guest, well, if I have to judge a cosplay contest, or if I have these many panels to do, or if I have an interview with this person or a podcast with somebody else, you know what I mean? So I try to spend 3 hours at my table at a time and like take a break and, come back. So I usually have a trusted friend or a handler with me that can be like, sorry, we got to take a break now, when you go to the bigger shows, though, they treat you a little bit differently, like I guess to like a little bit of a higher, and they slot you times and they give you security and things like that. And you just sit there and you talk to people like, okay, time's up, go get, they grab you and it's like, okay, let's go, so it just depends on the venue, and how it goes. So, I don't think I'm that important, you know what I mean? But, I had one run in, and after that, I was like, all right. Yeah, I need security from now on. Like, it was like one of those moments where I was like, okay, we need some people crazy, man. I'm just dressing up. I'm not that, I'm not solving world hunger here, so. It is what it is.
Without naming names or anything, what happened? Was it just like a attendee that got a little too much? Or
it's funny because well, I remember once, it's funny because back in the day, this happened to Danielle, and she tells the story, her and some other girls were together and they were going to a parking lot, and these dudes just came out of nowhere and just started harassing them when they were trying to put their stuff in the trunk, which was kind of weird. I hadn't had any instances like that. But they were in costume, and, they're cute girls. It happens. And they were in Miami, I think, at the time. And this guy, big dude, just came out of nowhere, and scared the guys off. He's like, girls need anything else? And they were like, oh my God, our hero, thank you so much. And then got to talk to him, and turns out he had been a bouncer at clubs and stuff. And his name's Johnny. And so Johnny became everybody's security, at that point. I still talk to Johnny, I'm like, hey, Johnny, I'm going to this con. I'll get you a badge. I'll get you in the green room. You can eat as much as you want. You can, dick off whenever you want to go do stuff. You know what I mean? So, and he was like, hell yeah. So Johnny ended up being my security for a long time. Cool. Johnny was great. But one con I went with Johnny, he was there, but again, at this point I hadn't really had any crazy incidents. Sometimes I had one guy be like, oh, Liz, and they, some people, they talk to you and they really they kind of develop this deep connection with you, more so than, I don't know this person, but they know everything about me because I share everything about me. It is what it is. But they're like, Liz, and they'll try to go around my booth to come and hug me. And you're like, oh, blah, blah, Johnny becomes a bear, back off. I'm like, oh no, it's great, and then I'll come out and I'll give them a hug and things like that. But there's a line that shouldn't be crossed that people sometimes do cross. Right. But this specific time, it was the end of the day. I had to judge a contest, and I had my times on the table, when I would be back. And Johnny's like, you okay to clean up? I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. So it was the end of the day. I mean, there was probably 10 minutes left before they were gonna kick people off of the show floor. And this dude comes up and he starts yelling at me. And I'm like, excuse me, and he was like, He's like, I came to this con to see you, to spend time with you, and you weren't here. You weren't here. And I spent my money in other places because of it. I demand a print. And I was like, what? Like this dude just like starts yelling at me. He's like, I've been one of your longest fans. I waited all day to see you. Like I have my times on the table. I think I was only at my booth 3 hours that day because I had to judge their big contest. And Johnny, like the dude waited for Johnny to leave. And so me being me, so I'm also a black belt, but Taekwondo, I did Taekwondo 13 years. So, and me being like, I think the guy wasn't ready for what just happened. So, I have security so they can be the bad guys. I don't like to be the bad guy. But I looked at this guy and I was like, I mean, I'll be here tomorrow, if you want, I can give you a discounted print or something, I'm sorry, and I was like, my apologies, man. He's like, how could you do this? And he starts screaming at me. He's like, I care so much about you. I want your bit. And I comment on your and then like it's funny because then people are like looking and I just like look at him and I just remember I raised my voice to his level and said, get the out of here. Who the do you think you are? You don't know me. And I'm just like, my fight instinct took over and I'm just yelling at this guy. Like, here I am trying to be a professional and this dude's like threatening me, and like he's like pounding his fist on my table and like yelling at me. So I start pounding back and yelling at him. And all of a sudden I just hear doo, 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 and I look and I see Johnny, like, he goes, I heard you from the bathroom. And he just grabbed the guy and like walked him out of the building. And I was just like, oh, I was like, mighty, I don't know you shit, and I'm just like, and I was like, thank you so much for, thank you, Johnny, thank you, Johnny.
Well, that's that adrenaline rush right there, I'm sure. I mean, just from the experience happening. I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was like the moth with the eyes in front of the frog, like, trying my best to not lose it, But yeah.
Do you remember what you were dressed as at that point of the day? Were you in a cosplay?
Oh yeah, I think I was actually, I was in like Lucy from Fairy Tale, this cutesy like blonde girl character, like with the top and like midriff exposed and like a mini skirt. So I was like,
that's what I was gonna say.
I'll mess you up. I'll show you.
Just the juxtaposition of that, like your rage coming out.
Whip.
Oh,
so here I was like super cutesy and blonde, like it's just so funny. And after that, but I was pretty shaken after that, I've heard other horror stories too, but for it to happen to me, it was just kind of like, me?
No, I mean it's not the same thing because it's totally different, but it's like the same time when you get recognized the first time, you get recognized, but this is something that you never thought would happen to you, I'm sure. Like, I mean, were there still other cosplayers or other people in the area, like near your table or wherever you were? Or
oh yeah, they were all around, like, and they were just like, it's happening to her, some of them were inexperienced stuff too. There's a bunch of gals came over like, oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay, Liz? Is everything? Do you need anything? I was like, I need to punch a wall.
I think that sounds like a scene that needs to be in a movie, like unfortunately, like reenacting that scene, but every cosplayer, guys, girls, whoever jumps in and like beats the hell out of the
guy. God, seriously, like it was it's funny, and it's funny because after that, like, I had been grinding so hard and I was like, what, maybe I should take a break for a little bit, and it was probably good I did at that point. I needed to. Right. I've been like working myself sick. Some days at those cons will literally be 23-hour days. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'll skip sleep sometimes because it's so exciting to be at these cons too, and you've made so many friends. Like, I have a group from Atlanta. There's some people from Texas. I have some people in Arizona and Florida, and some people that live in Cali. Like, I have groups all over the U.S. Now here in Hawaii, of course, too. So it's really hard to, like, because everybody comes together at these shows and you want to see everybody. You don't want anybody to feel like they've been left out or anything, too. So, oh God, it's first world problems. I was never really a popular kid. I mean, everybody knew me as that like weird girl that like talked too much. You know, I was like honor roll student, but also in Crime Watch and in Hacky Sack Club, and my prom date was the chess club president, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was such a weird person. And I've grown up to be even weirder, so
That's a good thing though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good
Yeah.
weird.
I'm one
Jeremy,
of
you
those
got-
snowflakes. So
No, I'm just enjoying the show right now.
You're enjoying the show.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
you-
have you ever been hit on at the conventions? I mean, I assume guys think they have a chance.
You saw my DMs on a daily, man. I've seen so many things. You know, okay, I'm just saying. I get so
And
many of
when
a
you say
certain
things,
body
I assume
part,
we all
you
know what you're
know?
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know what? If you guys can mix it up a little bit, like, oh wait, okay. First off, how hard can I go here on this podcast?
Go
As
Oh,
hard
you
as
can
you
go whatever
want.
you
Okay,
want.
good.
As hard as you want.
Okay, it's great that you shave your balls, okay? But like seriously, why don't you put it in a top hat with some googly eyes? Like, entertain me. You gotta make me look at it. I'm just saying,
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Cosplay the penis, and that way make it interesting. You know.
make it funny. Make it tuxedo man, okay? You know,
That's why my penis is always in formal wear. Always in
Exactly.
formal wear.
tie in a top hat. At least you're being a gentleman.
Exactly. Exactly. I got fedoras. I got top hats. I got a
Literally.
collection.
Mix
Yeah.
it up. I mean, yeah, and like I said, I've never been a prude, really. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You let your freak flag fly. You know, I'm vanilla as fuck, but you know, I just take it as is. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, I know what that is. Next photo. Oh, he sent like one dude sent it to me, and I was like, and I ignored it, and I went back to my phone, and he sent the same photo, like. I couldn't count, maybe like over 50 times.
Jesus.
And I was
He's
like,
proud.
Wow.
I mean,
Should he have been proud?
I mean, like I said, he shaved. I mean, good for him, you know. I mean, the lighting could have been better. The
Yeah.
angle, you know. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
little too black fluorescent for my.
Oh, we got
my
those.
taste.
You got those O light, those
Yeah.
O lights now that you can use.
The ring light, like I
The
have,
ring
that I'm
light,
still
yeah,
working
that.
with.
Exactly.
Oh God, yeah, right. Get little rings on it, you know. I'm just saying, polish it, you know. I can.
We'll ask Mike not to send those anymore.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah,
stop
no,
it, Mike.
I've gotten hit on a lot, and I have an SO, you know, and they're very I refer to my SO as Besto, because he's the Besto, and he is an opposite of me, introvert, like hardcore, you know, and I've gotten to cosplay me very rarely, like what maybe once. I think he's only cosplayed me once, and he cosplayed before I did, and so like it was really funny because we were in a group. Twice. Okay, cosplay twice here, and it's funny because he had done it years before I even started, and it kind of just I like took it and ran, and but he doesn't like to be a part of it. He's like, you know, you should be Leaping Lizard. You do your thing. You know, you have fun. You entertain me. He's like, I'm here to like live a normal life. I like my privacy. So, but when people like hit on me, you know, I'm just like, thank you. And I'm like, I
Right.
appreciate it, you know, and I'll be like, oh, you're not so bad yourself, you know what I mean? And I was
Yeah.
like, but unfortunately, you know, alas, I have been taken. Really, I
Yeah.
just sucked my claws into him and I never let go. So
There you go.
really, that's
Oh,
how
good
it
for you
works.
then.
But
Absolutely.
you know, it is what it is. I take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
Especially when the ladies do.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, oh, you're so pretty. Thank you. I'm like, thank you so much.
Did you guys meet through cosplay, or how did you meet? No. Okay.
College. Yeah, I met
College,
through
okay.
college. Just
Oh.
you know, same friend group. Unfortunately, not the best choice in fellows I met before him. Say that's how I met the friend group. And yeah, I think I was 19. We started dating, and fast forward, here we are now. You know, I'm 32, so
Oh,
he's
good.
been along for the ride, and
There
it's
you
been a
go.
hell of a ride. You know,
Yeah.
but no, he doesn't. I do all my own stuff. He has no interest. I've made him costumes, like, you know. So he's like, it's all you. The occasional IT issue, of course, though, you know.
Nice.
Sounds like a good dude. Let you do what you want to do to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know.
Yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
As long as you know, he'll help keep me fed and watered. Sometimes he would come to shows and kind of be, but he has absolutely like crippling anxiety of like mass crowds.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he loves cons, but he loves them, but he's very scared of like talking to people and like originating conversations, which is so funny because it's so opposite of me. Like, we are literally
Right.
textbook.
Right.
So yeah, it's
That's cool.
You know.
Sometimes that works out. Sometimes that's the best.
Do you and not to downplay any other conventions, I'm not trying to make you pick a favorite, but do you have one that stands out that you enjoy most, like for any
Yes.
particular reason?
Yes. Oh, yes. I love Holiday Monstery. They've had me, oh my gosh, they've had me guest there for like a gajillion times. But even if I've never been a guest there, you know, the staff really, they respect you. Which is sometimes a rarity when you're a guest. They treat you like a professional. They value you. They're willing to like go the extra mile, make sure you're okay. You know, they'll come in and do checkups on you. You know, I've guested at really big shows and I never met anybody. I just showed up, worked my table, and then okay, after 3 days I left. I never got to meet the staff or anybody, you know. So it's very personal. The owner, Greg, he's fantastic. You know, and the head of like guest relations, Zach and Andrew, like I know everybody by first name. They're like family to me now. They're just fantastic people. It's also a Christmas convention, Holiday Monstery, and it's in Orlando. And I mean, if you've never been to the con, I'll recommend it as your first. Everybody's like, it's really cool too to see the Christmas twist like on like everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I love
cool.
it. I love it. It's a fantastic show. Yeah.
I've never heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. Hopefully they held it this Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait. So
Do you get back to Florida anytime? I mean, obviously you're very far from it.
Yeah. My family and Besto's family's both in Florida. So I grew up in Tampa.
Gotcha.
So like I spent the first like gajillion years of my life in Florida. Then I was like, I'm going to take the first job I get out of Florida. And I got Kansas. And I was like, okay,
Oh boy.
we're going to Kansas, you know, and boy, oh boy. Okay. I know I live on an island now, but where I lived was an actual island in Kansas. Population, 3,500 people, like, you know, there was like 15 kids in the high school graduating class. My closest Starbucks was 2.5 hours. I almost died, you know. But the people that I worked with in the community there, everybody was just really friendly and really nice. And I showed up there on day one with purple hair, being me, but they were very accepting and very happy, you know. And I loved it there. It was cool. I got to issue like actual tornado warnings. Like I issued my warning, you know, in your phone, like says tornado warning. That's what I did. Like I was the person looking at the radar, issuing the warning. One day I issued a warning. I looked outside and was like, there it is. Woohoo! You know, nailed it. And so it was really cool. High stress job, really cool people, but there was nothing there. So I really spent a lot of time working on costumes and streaming on Twitch, you know, trying to make YouTube videos here and there. So it was a cool experience. Like, you know, you kind of think like those places don't exist anymore. But, you know, my first week, I'm like walking at Walmart and hear like this chink, chink, chink sound. And I turn and look, as a cowboy, full Spurs hat and chaps. And I'm like,
Another
where the hell did I
cosplayer.
move to? Oh my god! You know, like, oh my god, this is great. You know, but yeah, it was an experience. I and then like after my 1 year there, even though my better half is an introvert, he still likes to do things. You know, I turned to him and I said, so I can start looking for other jobs now. And he was like, please get us out of here.
Get me out of Kansas, for Christ's sake.
Please. I mean, we joke and like he's like, I will never go back. I will never go back. And I'm like, And he was like, he goes, I will deliberately take planes that reroute around it. I will never even fly over the state again.
Right.
So, because, back where we used to live, we had like community and friends, and in Kansas, it just wasn't like that. Everybody was like neighborhood friendly, but everybody kept to themselves too. So, which was fine because, I'm always doing the grind. I do what I love on nights and weekends too. So, I wasn't very social there. But then Hawaii, boop, so
Awesome.
no complaints now.
Well, I assume Kansas had something to do with like you were discussing the tornado watches. That's because probably a lot of weather stuff happens out. That's Tornado Alley and everything. So I mean, is that
amazing?
why?
Yeah. And it's funny because after my first 2 years in the service, I had to do radar school. I did radar school for a year, and then the second year was like the social science side of it. And after finally going and like being in the hot seat and issuing the warnings, trying to like save lives and stuff, it was really weird. I had this moment where like I realized all like of Billy Bob and his buds are jumping in the truck chasing these tornadoes. I'm like, oh my, how have not more people died? Like, it's so dangerous. It's so scary,
Yeah.
And we did a little chasing, but nothing hardcore. No Helen Hunt here and Twister style.
We're from the east coast of Florida, or at least Mike and I are, and there's hurricanes come in, and there's guys out there surfing, or the one guy kite surfing. I don't get that. There's winds 50 mile an hour. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, it's not.
No.
And those things always like irked me. And don't get me wrong, I have a ton of friends who are so there are TV meteorologists. Okay, I'm gonna go on side rant. There are TV meteorologists, okay, that have never had a meteorology class in their life. And then a good chunk of them now though do have like a degree or some sort of like geography or atmospheric science background.
Yeah, we hope.
It is. You would be surprised, especially in the more popular markets. It's more about how pretty you are and good at sending the message.
That was one of my favorite memes of the year was the Spanish channel, and it had a guy on there in a suit, and it said, shit's fucked up when they get the guy out and put the girl in the back.
It's true. No. And that being said, like whenever they show them out there in the winds experiencing it, that's always been a huge pet peeve for me. Don't get me wrong, like.
Oh, I don't like that either.
I just always hated that.
I mean, do I need you to be out there to know that it's windy?
No.
There's a hurricane. Of course it's windy.
Exactly. And it's funny because like people are like, oh, well, you want to be, when you become a meteorologist, they tell you, well, what type of meteorologist you want to be? You want to do research? Do you want to be on television? Do you want to do TV stuff? Or do you want to, be operational, like emergency support, which is what I ended up, sliding into. Great benefits, good retirement,
sure.
And it's funny because you see a lot of these TV meteorologists, and they're only making like 19 grand a year and they're working 2 days a week, they're the weekend meteorologists and they're really trying to get hard. But it's so competitive and cutthroat. There's always someone younger, prettier, and smarter or better than you. And so like it's literal like fight club. And I've seen that even in like cosplay too. Like people will just like to try to like clout chase, as the kids say, to get the fame. So I've always been lucky that I get to do what I love, and then I can do cosplay on the side. I don't have to make cosplay be my life, you know what I mean? I don't have to have it succeed to like an enormous level or anything, which has kind of been liberating, which is probably why I've always had like kind of a laid back approach at it. But I've met people just grinding hard, just like this is what I want to do, this is my dream, and I love it. I don't know if I could do it full time, I'll be honest. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for a person to want to do that too, politics, people, politics,
absolutely,
things like that.
Yeah,
especially in my own career.
As in everything, really.
In everything.
Politics. Yeah, I mean, cosplay seems like it might be a hard grind. You're talking about 23-hour days, and it's and people coming at you all the time or whatever. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, I'm as narcissistic as you can get, and I like when people recognize me and want to talk to me and praise me and all that kind of crap. But to be in an auditorium where I can't go anywhere and I'm stuck in a chair for 3 hours at a time, that would grind on me a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I respect everything you guys do, especially because I didn't know that much about it. So, I'm learning a lot today about, cosplay. So, and I thank you for that. But I don't think it's for me. I couldn't do it full. I couldn't do it full time.
No, I mean, you can always just do it for fun though, if you want.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like once in a while. I mean, I could be an attendee, and just get the hell out of there when I'm done. But
exactly, it's nice. It's nice being an attendee. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. So next Mike's going to drag me to one of these times anyway.
I will. You're going later this year. If all goes well, you're going later this year.
Yeah.
So do you have any characters that you've been making or creating, waiting for things to start opening back up?
Yeah, I always have like projects where I'm like, I don't have motivation on this, so let me jump to something different for a while and come back. I have several unfinished projects and several that I haven't even started yet, cue Gordon Ramsay like meme, like your cosplay's so bad it looks like it's still on the fabric bolt or something, it's I literally have bolts of fabric. I'm just like, I'll make you someday. Like I go through, I'm like any other person, I go through waves of motivation and not, it's art,
Sure.
And I do have, let's see, so I have about 4 or 5 that are like almost done and I just need to finish them. So I like horror games a lot too, and I've kind of wanted to transition to more scary FX stuff. So I just did like my first, monster mouth on my face to be an imposter from Among Us, and then I'm trying to make this character, Huntress Anna. She wields an axe and like kills people in this game, Dead by Daylight. You play the killer and you play against 4 real people in real time, and you're trying to catch them and put them on meat hooks because that's what I enjoy doing apparently in my spare time.
Well, who doesn't?
Who doesn't want to put somebody on a meat hook? I'm just saying. I got
like 7 I could put on a meat hook tonight.
They're like, is the security to stop her from killing people now? Is what you're thinking. No. But I have a couple horror cosplays I'm working on. I also have from Dark Souls. Actually, I'm wearing a t-shirt from Dark Souls 3. This Firekeeper, and now that there's other games coming off. Right now, though, you can see there's kind of a trend in cosplay that's a little, it's not my speed. So again, a lot of people who try to make it now as a content creator on the internet, whether YouTube, Twitch, whatever, everybody's streaming the new thing that's out, or everybody's, following what the popular YouTubers are doing, or everybody's doing what the popular cosplayers are doing. Every season, spring, summer, fall, winter, there's a new season of anime, for example. And it's like, who can be first and who can like get it out on the internet first and provide the, the tutorial steps or to show it off, or like something goes viral on the internet. Who's the first to cosplay? Like there's this constant rat race with people where they're all trying to do what's popular and cool in the moment, which can kind of take away the fun from it. For me at least, I like doing like niche things that people might not recognize, because I'm weird like that. I like to bring characters too that I'm kind of mixed on this. There's some characters that I love and I'll make. It doesn't matter if they're popular or not to me. And some aren't. Like I've done Harley Quinn several times, and I've done Lucy again from Fairy Tale a couple of times. I have a couple more versions of them planned and down the road. And then there's a, like random character from old cartoon that no one's seen before. You're like, people don't remember. Like I did Botan from Yu Yu Hakusho, this old ancient cartoon back in the days of Dragon Ball, I like picking niche things too that people like Wuya from Shaolin Showdown, like just these things that you wouldn't normally see. I like niche stuff that hasn't been brought to life a lot. If I see something overdone, it generally puts me off to doing it. And that's not because I don't want to be compared to anybody or anything like that. Somebody like, oh, you just don't want to be compared to anybody. That's not the mindset. It's just, I think I can bring other things to life that people haven't seen before. People might want to see, Sure. This is a big part of it too. So like, if everybody's doing this specific Harley Quinn right now because the new Suicide Squad movie came out, everyone's doing her signature outfit. I'm probably not going to do it. And then that becomes like a running joke with people too. Like, oh, what's the cosplay community doing now? but everybody did Among Us Imposters, and I love the game, and so I made my like monster mouth and my little thing, and me and my friend had fun with it. I was in a spacesuit. So there's sometimes I will jump on board versus not. But yeah, I guess really to each their own when it comes to that. And then I did say earlier though, like you can judge, you don't judge a book by its cover thing, but you can with cosplay. It has changed a lot. Okay, there are plenty of people now who have never seen that cartoon or that video game or that they're models and they're just making the characters come to life, and that's fine. You want to make your bread that way, go for it. All more power to you. But it's always so awkward for me when I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your blog cosplay. Oh, so what was your favorite part of the show? It's let's say somebody's dressed as a Vulcan and they've never seen Star Wars. Or not Star Wars.
They've never seen Star Wars. I mean, how would they get that?
Oh, don't murder me. It's funny. Oh God, everyone's gonna kill me. No, my dad was a huge Trekkie, so like I remember
there are Trekkie fans knocking. There are Trekkie fans now knocking shit off their walls.
I know, they're freaking out. Like I had like a little plush Tribble and stuff, like as a toy as a kid that I always carried around, and it vibrated. I had like my little phaser gun, my little voice radio box. Like
there's nothing better than a vibrating Tribble. I gotta tell you.
Oh geez, good point. They're so stuffy though. I kid.
That's Vinny for you. No, but I mean,
they could at least shave their Tribble. I kid.
That's what I'm saying. Shave your Tribble. Put a hat on it.
Put a hat on the Tribble, man. With some googly eyes.
That's right.
Bring it alive. I kid.
Googly eyes.
But yeah.
That goes back to.
There is a nerd cred thing too. So like, I did a Kylo Ren thing, right? And so. I did Kylo Ren. I love Kylo Ren. I like the new movies. Don't kill me, internet. I did like the new movies. I really like Kylo Ren. I like the actor in general. He cracks me up. And it was so funny. And I just wrote on Twitter, because you only have so many characters. And I love bringing Kylo Ren to life. What are some of your favorite, like, I wrote Darth characters, and the internet ripped me apart because Kylo Ren is not like a Darth. And I learned very quickly that I had fucked up by the nerd quality. And I was like, oh my God. And then once I posed with a gun with a gun in one of my photos, and I had my finger on the trigger. And the internet was like, how dare you? That is not proper gun safety. And then once I was trying to do like Rock On, but I did like Spider-Man, and like the internet ripped me up. They're like, are you Spider-Man? And I'm like, yes, I am. Like, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
It's funny the things that people get mad at you about too.
Yeah, they're wound up a little too tight,
It's funny. I'll have and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We apologize for any emails Mike has sent about any of those.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people who are like, well, prove you're real, because there are a lot of people who don't, know these things.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of questions? Like, are people kind of challenge you when you're dressed up as a character? If you really know it?
All the time. Yeah. And it's funny. Like, I don't mind having a conversation like about the show and things I like about the character too. You know what I mean? I only make things that I really love, but if I get sponsored by a company to do something that I'm, I've seen the movie and I liked it, it's okay, but I don't know the entire lore, backstory, origin, history, people are like, you're fake. And I'm like, oh, well, teach me, senpai, what do I need to know? I didn't realize this character had so much depth, and I'm just like, okay, okay, what am I gonna do? So it is what it is. And I know some people take it really personal. There doesn't need to be a need to, okay? So, I played League of Legends back in the day, and I love cosplaying League of Legends characters, but there's like 148 characters. I don't know all of their origin stories and backgrounds.
Right.
So I like cosplaying them just because they look really freaking cool. And I played them, a couple times. But that being said, if anybody questions me on Dark Souls or Demon Souls or Bloodborne, I'll put them in their place.
That's right. You got troubles. I was
like, I'll verbally smack you down. So no, I kid. I do have my deep fandoms too that I like to cosplay from too. So everybody's their own critic. It is what it is.
For real.
I think that's you know, that you got to do what you love. I mean, that goes back to work, and you don't consider this any kind of job. You have your own career. This is a side thing for you. I mean, you got to pick what characters you love. For me, you know, I wrote down some of my favorites that you've done. I love your Little Mac. I love your.
That was probably like, I was shocked how well that did. That was my first one. I got so much love and so much hate, and I was blown away. You know, I was shocked. Cool. I love Little Mac. I mean, like, I was terrible at the Nintendo as a kid. And I never got to Mike Tyson. I never once got to him. Okay, I was like 5. Okay, but I loved it. I loved it. You know,
but it's fun. But you can still love it and appreciate it. I mean, Harley Quinn, but I mean that's everyone's favorite. I like your BioShock Elizabeth. I love BioShock.
So like, and that's the Burial at Sea DLC. Sorry, it's just like, it was so emotional for me. I loved it. Like, you know. Go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, I have no ulterior motive here. I'm just picking.
Did you see my? Okay, but did you? I made like a YouTube video with the song, you know, from the game, like the da 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 da. No, but like the whole time I'm like, just being a total troll in the costume, you know. But like I had a lot of fun with Elizabeth and just being a total goober in her too, you know. When I was wearing Elizabeth, I went to TwitchCon. And this girl comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, can I take a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And she goes, I actually worked on the game. And I just like dropped to my knees and I'm like, "Oh, I love you." You know? And she was like, "Oh, this is weird now." And I'm like, "Thank you." You know, and she just started laughing. Like, I like to tease people and make them super uncomfortable sometimes.
But that's also what happens at the conventions. Like, you just don't know who you're going to meet.
People have done that to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it to somebody someday, somebody that's important. I'm gonna mess with them, and I have.
Cool. Yeah. Any celebrities, any celebrity meetings, or anything that stands out to you at any of the conventions, or you know, in real life, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, it's weird because like so it's funny because you're treated as a guest, but you're put up to that level with like, you know, comic book artists, but also like movie stars are there too. So here I am, like sitting in a green room, and I'm like trying to play it cool, Liz, play it cool. And I see Bill Nye, and I'm like, "Bill, how's it going, man?" And he's like, "Hey." I was like, "I'm Liz." He's like, "Oh, you're a guest on the show." And I got to talk to Bill Nye. I was like, "Yeah, you know, listen, I got to talk to you about your climate change episode, though. Okay, we need to have a talk." And we just sat down and shot the shit. And then he left. I was like, you know?
Right.
I told him what was wrong with his episode. You didn't even give, like, Bill, you didn't even give nuclear power a shot. Okay, there are some good, you know, it just like went on through it. It was so funny. It was so funny. I'm just saying. Don't come at me. No. So it was really funny. And then I got to like see Rose, and then like I sat down once, and it was funny because they had the old OG, you know, Star Trek OG there, original series. I was sitting there having like lunch with you know, Chekhov, and then oh my god, sorry, his actual name is slipping my mind.
Walter, isn't it Walter Koenig?
Maybe. I'm terrible.
Koenig.
Koe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Sure. Yeah, Walter. Yeah, but it was funny because the kid had just died too. Like, you know, the one that replaced him in the movie.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear about, you know. He goes, yeah, like, you know, I hung out with the kid and he trained me. And it was so cool because I was like, I have this rule though. Like if you're in the green room, there's a solemn rule. Like you don't take pictures, you don't do that. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't harass people while they're there. You just have conversations. So I sit down. There's like a couple of the, you know, the original series guys. I'm just talking to them, having lunch, and I'm like, "What you've been doing since then? You know, how's your life?" And then one guy's like, "Yeah, you know, my kid's a doctor. My other one, she's doing journalism." And like, I'm just sitting there having a normal conversation. You just realize, oh, okay, yeah, you guys are normal people, you know. And I was like, so is it true what they say about Shatner? And they just went, mm-hmm. I was like,
that's
okay,
awesome.
I just wanted to know. It was so funny because I was in cosplay, and they're like, "Oh, so what do you do here?" And I'm like, "I'm one of those weird people that dress up, you know, but this is like my side thing I do for fun. I do weather." And every time I tell people like I do weather, they're like, "Oh shit!" And then we talked about weather for like an hour and a half, you know. I got super excited when I met Rufio from Hook. I was like, Rufio, I won't say it, you know. But now he's like, then I had a conversation. He's a producer now out in LA, and he's trying to make his own like shows and stuff. Like, that's so cool, you know. You learn about these other people. And then oh god, I can save this one for offline, but offline I can save this one. I don't want to bash the person. Okay. But they were like, "Oh, you don't know who I am? Oh, I did it." And I'm like, "That's cool, man. That's cool. So what do you do now?" And the guy goes, and I quote, "Yeah, I just kind of like live in a trailer in like South Florida, and I just go to these cons." And I'm like, "That's so sad." Like, he's like, he just lives off of the royalties from what he did.
Wow.
Yeah, but the voice actors are really cool too. A lot of the voice actors I've hung out with. I remember I made a total dumbass of myself. Oh, I beat Matt Mercer in Cards Against Humanity, so I'm proud of that motion.
Nice.
I whooped his ass. No, kidding. He's a nice guy. A lot. You start seeing them all at the shows too, and you all become friends and stuff. But you know, I never wanted to be an actor. I never wanted to do voice acting or anything like that. I just like being a dork, you know. So but it's really cool to see all these people you met and how they've grown and how you're all intertwined, you know. Then like somebody I knew got to work on Guardians of the Galaxy, like doing production, like 3D modeling, and it's really crazy like how I got like sucked into this world and met all these cool people, you know. And like I said, Bill Nye, I was definitely starstruck, but I played it cool. You know, I played it. Cool.
I appreciate you giving him some crap about Nuke Power. I appreciate that.
I did. Okay, it was funny because
him and Ellen at the Energy Encounter at Disney used to make me, or not Energy, the Universe of Energy or whatever. Oh, but Nuke Power. But that's not so. Oh,
if only we had established.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Bottom of my heart.
Jeremy's day
you know exactly what I'm talking about. I could just see people be like, "The hell are they talking about?" You know exactly what I'm talking about. So we'll I don't want to freak people out. People could be like, "Oh, she believes in nuclear power." I was like, "Listen, okay, you know,
you need it. It's got to be there."
I mean, it's a good form of energy. All right, I'm gonna jump ahead.
Sorry,
but
just had to say that.
There was one encounter, and I will say the name, okay? Jason Momoa. So I had a friend who was helping me at the con. And she was helping me out at the table and stuff. And she was helping me, but like she didn't see the email where they changed the times to see people. So like she paid to see Jason Momoa and got like a one spot thing. So I said, "Oh, okay." I was like, "All right, well, let me put on I'm a guest hat." So like I took her, I was like, "Listen, you know, hi, I'm a guest here." You know, she actually was supposed to see Jason, So they're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll give her a couple minutes with him, sure, like, you know, off the book," and he did photos and stuff. I'm like, cool. So like I walk in with her and there's Jason, and I was like, and she was like, "Oh my God, hi." I'm just standing there. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" She's sitting there smiling, talking. I'm just sitting there like playing it cool. And she's like, "Oh my God, Liz, oh my God." I'm like, cool. We leave the tent and I'm like, oh my God.
You're blushing now thinking about it.
It's so funny too, because he's from Hawaii. So and one of the guys I work with, he saw that I was into the costume stuff too. You know, I go to the cons, and but then we got talking, and I told him the story of Jason. He goes, "Oh yeah," you know, because he's Hawaiian, so, you know, Polynesian dude, like he's got the slang. I can't mimic the voice yet. I haven't been here long enough. So he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, like it's funny because I fish with his dad all the time. I used to fish with him when we were kids and stuff." And I was like, you don't say. So what's the next time I can come fishing with you guys? You know, like when can I come hang out? You know, it's so funny though. I joke with Besto all the time about this, so it's fine. I remember the first time we watched the Thor movie and Thor walked shirtless across the TV, and my better half, he just walks over. He goes, "Wait a second." He rewinds and he pauses, you know, with him right in the middle of the screen. He walks over to TV. He goes, "How?
Yeah. How do you get that?
How? And I'm like, we don't make that much money, baby. You know?
That's all right. My wife watches TV shows just to see if the guy will take his shirt off.
Yeah.
It's just for science. Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember that laughing. So, and it was just really, really funny. So we joke about that all the time too. But he's like and he was so sweet to my friend. And she was like, oh my God. And he was such a sweetheart. He made, she only had like a 2-minute meeting with him or something. And it turned into like 10 minutes, and he was just so kind and taking his time. And I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's so nice. And he's like, hey. And I'm like, so I turned scarlet. Yeah, for sure. So, but it's really cool because it's really cool just like having that getting to hang around these famous people, and you're like, man, I don't do half of the shit you guys do. I can put on a costume and put pictures on the internet being a turd. So like,
you're still waiting on that fishing trip though.
Oh, I am. Gonna happen. I will meet him. No, I kid. So, but I joke. And then there was one person, somebody that I had admired since I was like a teenager. It was so cool. And then I met him, and I was like, oh.
Didn't live up to the image, huh?
Oh, he was so creepy. Like, he was so creepy. He was so predatory and like trying to like flex. And I was just like,
Mr. Belding?
Who?
Mr. Belding? No. Saved by the Bell.
Belding.
No. Oh man. It was, yeah. Oh God. It's funny because, oh God. I was just like, wow.
Was it Kevin Spacey? Was it Kevin Spacey?
No. I'm not a boy. I kid. So I'm not a young impressionable boy. I mean, I might have the voice of a young teenager.
I just had to throw that in there just to see where you go with it.
Oh God!
Exactly where I wanted you to go.
I was so sad. House of Cards was my jam too.
I know, right?
Sucked.
I was so pissed off.
That last season, I was like, come on, guys. I understand.
About him, even though he's not here all the time.
Right.
Like, it was just so weird because they kept forcing him back into it,
Yeah.
But not.
They had to, but I mean, at the same time, they couldn't. And and that, I mean, what's your take on the whole latest cancellation, I guess you'd say, with Mandalorian, Gina Carano?
Oh, jeez.
I know. We talked about that a few episodes ago.
You can't say stuff like that, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, keep that crazy to yourself, girl. Like, it's a shame, too, because I really liked her character. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll make her costume. And now I'm like, oh, I'm not touching that shit. I'm a fucking 20-foot tall, man. Some of my girlfriends cosplayed her. And I'm like, I don't want to share those photos anymore.
You better have a few security guards around you with that.
Like, it's just, there's people too who will cosplay. Like, there was like this this one's really unfortunate. This one makes my blood boil, but there's like a COVID Chan like that they made on the internet, and like and then there was when Ebola was happening. Like, there was the old like website like 4chan or some shit like that. They made an Ebola Chan, like this cutesy like girl, but they would like put her in these super racist photos, like with pictures of like people in Africa dying and stuff like that. And then like a handful of people I know are like, oh my God, she's so cute. And then they cosplayed her. And I'm like, that's like cosplaying Hitler. Like, what are you doing? You dummy, and there's been people they were also trying to do the COVID Chan. They made this like COVID Chan, but she was a bat girl, like, because of COVID and bats, and but she was also like wearing a Chinese dress and like had exaggerated it was really racist, long story short. And people think like
exactly.
It is what it is. I never mean to offend anybody with anything, you know what I mean? I try to keep myself a straight lace and also avoid drama as much as
exactly
possible.
I mean, that's what it is. Avoid the drama.
Oh God, I'm too old for that shit.
Exactly.
I say it, my body's already given me more than enough in the past 3-4 years. Okay, so I'm just happy. Like, I have Okay, so I don't know why we're going back to this, but I have ulcerative colitis, which if people don't know what that is, it's like Crohn's disease, but it's in the large intestine. So my drama is if I'm gonna poop today or not, okay? Like that's the extent of my drama, okay? All right. Or am I gonna OD on Miralax? Like I'm like 90 in this body, honestly, guys. So.
Oh man.
But seriously, I joke. You guys are like, oh no, I did not need to know that.
No, we talk about anything and everything here.
Hey, you know what?
We aim to offend.
Hey,
No.
I thought I was the only one who had that problem.
It's a big joke with me and my friends though. So like when I got officially diagnosed with it, that Christmas, everybody sent me like poop stuff, like poop emoji, like pillows and cups. Somebody sent me the little diarrhea bacteria like plushie, and I mean I have so much poop paraphilia like all over my house. It's crazy.
Wow.
But I try to make the best of it. You know, it is what it is. Yeah. I try to actually bring awareness to it too, because it is like a chronic thing that most people don't know about.
Right.
So it does cause issues, and I've managed to get my disease under control, which is fantastic. So I like to show that even though I, might die via my butthole turning inside out, that I can cosplay too. And have a successful career as a weather person.
Prolapse rectum happening.
Exactly. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I hear about the ulcerative colitis at the end of commercials, where they talk really fast about.
Yeah,
right.
Like, some of the side effects may include.
May include everything. Yeah.
Everything that you're trying to take the medicine to stop.
Exactly.
Fortunately, I haven't gotten to that level yet. So, yeah, I'm in the luckily pill stage. Once the disease progresses so far, then you go into that commercial stage with the shots daily and the biologics. So, and then after that, you lose your colon. But we're a long way away from that for now. So, but I do miss dairy. I miss dairy so much.
Oh, I bet.
It's funny, like people are like, do you ever get jealous of your like cause famous friends and stuff? I was like, no. If anything, I'm really happy. I'm proud of them. Again, I'm not trying to make it my life. If it happens, cool.
Right.
I'm not gonna turn away from what fate has decided for me.
No.
But at the same time, too, like I'm really happy for the people who are successful, who can make a living out of it. The only people I'm jealous of are the ones that can eat ice cream and shellfish. I hate all of you. I hope you all choke and die on it.
I'm sorry. I just had a vanilla shake earlier.
Very nice of you to be honest.
That's funny.
I see people eating shellfish and I'm like, oh, I wasn't allergic to it when I was a kid. Okay. I miss shrimp. I have violent shellfish allergy, which is stupid because I live in Hawaii of all places too, Oh.
You go where the work is. But I mean, that's kind of like what you said with other cosplayers and whatnot. That goes to like almost a level of celebrity that, social media has brought to, whether or not you want to call it a profession now. I mean, you get people who can make full-blown livings and I don't know how much they make, but lots of money off sponsorships, endorsements, and things like that.
I mean, I know people that I know one person specifically that was making just $44,000 a month on Patreon.
Good God.
Yeah. And now, like, I make enough. Every penny I make goes back into it. Really. I think my best year that I had was like a couple years. I took a hiatus because I got really sick with the UC, and but my best year I made. I don't lie about it. I made $20,000, which is not enough to live on, but it helps buy a ton of equipment, like buy tons of, new sewing machines and. New camera lenses, things like that. That money adds up, but Uncle Sam takes 40%. So, that is what it is. So, but I never lie about it. So I tell people.
Okay. Well, it's a good, enjoyable side gig, it's a good side hustle for,
Yeah. I didn't make that much this last year. I didn't make like half that this last year. So,
in case the IRS is watching.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like, hey, IRS, listen. Yeah. I'm a negative net.
Yes.
Hey, that's how I was this year, and I got more than I expected back, so that's good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know how much money I spent on getting my hair done? I kid. Some people do that, though. I've heard that people put that on their taxes.
Keep your receipts.
Damn.
It counts. Listen, if it's going towards what you're doing with if you're self-employed, listen, that's working the system. That's gaming the system.
Not a CPA. Stop giving tax advice.
Makeup. Yes. Oh yes. Anybody watch this? I don't have any tax advice for you.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
I usually tell people when they want to do cosplay in sort of a like a mindset like this, one, they have to decide what type of cosplayer they want to be. Like when I got into school, what type of weather lady you want to be. With cosplay, when you start getting into it, and you want to make it a business, where do you start? Like, what do you want to be known for? Okay. And then build to that. I wanted to do like just characters all the time now. And now I've gotten older, like my interest has kind of changed. So now I've been really pushing hard into YouTube. So now I'm doing YouTube videos every week now. And I'm focusing on my awkward horror comedy, like video game playthroughs. Like that's kind of like where I shifted myself, and now I'm kind of trying to pivot, but I'm kind of starting from scratch all over again. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to want to switch around, do stuff too. But a lot of people, like, they'll stay in their niche. There's people who cosplay one specific character all the time, and they're known for that character, and they're fantastic. You know what I mean? And everybody loves that. And then there's other people who will just shotgun do whatever the hell they want. Guilty. So, teach their own. And another thing that too, people do need to know that people are going to hate you. People will hate you for no reason at all. Especially if you get Star Wars and Star Trek confused.
Oh boy. Yeah.
That was an innocent mistake.
You got to watch your ass with these people.
No, I can't. Well, yeah. And it was funny because I know I've had people, oh man, the best scandal. Somebody messaged me and so was like, Liz, I just saw this on this forum, like somebody's looking for dudes of you. And I was like, what? And then they sent it to me, and it was like a cosplay, like porn niche website. And they posted, hey, does anybody have any pictures of this girl? And it was like my photos. I was like, oh, good for them. Okay. And they were like, aren't you outraged? I'm like, no. But I remember posting like on my Facebook, I guess I made it, guys. They're looking for the nudes, And I posted the link. And I shouldn't have done that. When I did that, people flocked in the masses to defend me on that. And I'm like, guys, it's a porn site. Like, what? Like, that doesn't. What? They're like, how could you? Liz is a really special person. And I'm like, guys, stop. Seriously, leave this person alone. It's their community. They're doing their own thing. Good for him.
They didn't know about the lawn mowing?
No. Well, I mean, everybody knows about the lawn mowing. It's funny. When I sign the print, I write Leaping Lizard Lawn Service at your service. That's what I write every time I sell that print too. And so some of those photos came up. Some of my boudoir stuff that I did too back in the day. And it was cool. I'm really proud of it. When I'm like old and everything's where it's not anymore, I'll be like, yeah. But back to that point, I got really pissed off at people. I was like, guys, leave this person alone. They're in their community doing their own thing. They're not hurting anybody. They ain't gonna find shit unless they find a really good Photoshop version of me. Then I want to see it. Let's go.
A deep fake Liz.
I want to see a deep fake. I could just be like, like just the faces, like it's just be so great. Because it's not going to be normal, it's going to be really uncomfortable for everybody, and that's what I want. I want everyone to be as comfortable as possible.
So anyone can make a deep fake Liz and send it to her. She seems to be.
But I better be like this the whole time. Like, I need like as many. The more chins, the higher grade quality. Okay, just get so many of those chins in there.
Well, every time now I hear a lawnmower outside my house, I'm gonna have funny feelings.
And you'll be like, that posing bitch. It's funny. Well, it's funny because then it's a true story. So when we moved to Kansas, we bought our first house, and I had a little push lawnmower, and I called my mom after I used it, and I'm like, ha! I did it! I mowed the lawn! And I sent her a picture. I was like, look at me now, Mom, I'm an adult. And she was like, Oh my God, Liz. Oh my God. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, I did redeem myself. I have mown the lawn since then.
How did that first cut turn out?
I accidentally I couldn't figure out how to turn it on, so I sat there and I was determined to figure it out on my own. It was an electric one too, and like there were directions to like pull the things and you pinch the bar and you do the thing. About 30 minutes, I was like, I gotta go ask Besto. I can't figure this out. And he just like started laughing at me. He's like, you're so smart, but you're so stupid sometimes. I'm like, I don't common sense, okay?
Yeah, right.
I don't common sense. It's so true, though. It's so true. We have so much fun.
That's cool.
That's good. Jeremy and me, I'm back to your Among Us cosplay you're talking about, your imposter.
Yeah,
Jeremy and me play. We love Among Us, I think. We like to play with our families and just do little like groups. Vinny, I'm still trying to get on board. So Vinny's just learning a little bit about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
It's all about lying to your friends as best as possible.
I do that without the game.
It's true.
That's true.
Do you play that on? Do you do that on Twitch? Do you have like streams of you doing Among Us and stuff? Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah, I played with Danielle, and it was so funny because like when Danielle Nicole, and I was playing with her, and I was like, Danielle, because we had proximity channel. I was like, tell me who to kill. Let's go. Give me a name. I was like, okay. And she's like, we'll kill this person. And like we were running together, and they're like, Danielle, are you the imposter? And I go, no, but I am, and I killed them. And then the other person reported. And they're like, it was a failed double kill. Danielle's the killer. And she wasn't. That was the best part. And I got her, both of us like kicked out. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Danielle. It was so funny though. It was great. I have a good group of friends, and we'll play from time to time. I wish I could play it all the time for sure.
Right.
But again, even though I have a job, my job, I'm on call all the time in case something happens because of the predicament that I'm in the position that I chose. So,
Yeah, we talked about me and Liz talked about it in our little chat. We talked about. Do you guys remember a few years ago that warning that went out from the Pacific side saying that crisis, what was it, a nuclear weapon or something like that?
Missile on the way, take shelter.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a problem.
That was not my department, luckily. That being said, though, it went through our radios. I wasn't here at that time, clearly. So, but I heard that person got, sauteed,
Yeah.
They got in deep doo-doo. And then it was funny because I remember they did an interview of the guy, like of the people there at that place. And then on the corner of the computer screen was like a passwords. Like a little sticky note with passwords, and the internet blew them up, and then, oh my gosh, you're just like common sense people.
Yeah,
and
some people just don't do it.
Uncle Sam's is big though, on stuff like that. Like we gotta change our passwords all the time, and like everything. It is what it is, And gosh, I mean, it's so locked down tight too. But I love what I get to do now. And that's the thing about being a cosplay guest too is. By being a guest too, like I can hold panels and things. I can be at the forefront. I can get the word out, and I can also like help arrange things like contests and things like that, or workshops, and I can help enable other people, which is kind of like what I do with my position now, because like I'm a regional manager. Like I can like essentially put things in motion and give other people opportunities and delegate work to other people. I can help bring other people up in my current field as well as like in cosplay when I get to guest and have fun.
So you're the Michael Scott. Do you have a Dwight Schrute, like an assistant to the regional manager?
Oh my gosh. It's funny. I get people that tell me like, you're so much like Michael Scott, she said that, or no, that's what she said. And, but also I get Leslie Knope a lot. And people are like, you are literally the Leslie Knope of government. And I'm like, you might think so, but like after year 3, I've turned more into like a Ron Swanson. I'm like, this is destroying my soul.
Those are 2 cosplays you gotta do. The Ron Swanson would be great. Like gender bending.
I would do in a heartbeat and just have like a pack of bacon on me, I'm like, I love Leslie Knope is like the young Liz who just joined the weather service before she had to learn politics. now it's fine. There's chains of command and things like that, because I'm like higher up now. There's more politics and things like that. And I'm always like, very careful what I say. Right. But at the same time, here I am on the internet cursing, doing whatever the hell I want.
I think everything's pretty innocent, it is.
Yeah,
what it is.
Yeah. Like I'm sitting there, like I'm playing against people, and I start screaming, "Choke on a dick!" My Xbox Live days, are like taking over. So it's really funny. Like people get to know me in the weather, and then sometimes it happens every so often. Someone comes across me on the internet, and they're like, "Liz, is this you?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is. I'm sorry." Oh my God, you're totally different. I'm like, yeah. I try to be a professional, of course. When I'm a guest, I always try to put my best face forward and like be a professional. And I don't do things too sexy either at cons, because usually, the cons that have kids and stuff. Dragon Con's free game, baby. Wear whatever you want.
There it is.
That's a very adult convention.
Take me to one of those, Mike. That's the one I'm going to go to.
Vinny, that's in your backyard, bro.
Let's go.
Remember when I went to stay at your house?
Oh yeah, I remember.
That was Dragon Con.
That was Dragon Con.
I love Dragon Con. Oh my God, I love Dragon Con. So that is like the mecca of cons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's really weird too when people like come across it and they find you. And I remember I was working when I went to Kansas. I think it was like 2 or 3 months in, and then one of my coworkers, he was like, "So Liz, now I've gotten to know you and stuff too. I've known you for a long time though." And I was like, "Which costume?" And he's like, "The Mac." And I'm like, of course. Like, it was like he had seen my cosplay. It was funny. And my friend too, she was like, "Oh, meet my fiance." And he was like, "Yeah, I actually know you too." So it's always weird when people know you. The big one for me though is I was doing like a meteorology talk with kids, and I'm really animated. I'm a lot of fun. I try to be bubbly. I was doing it with high schoolers. And afterward, these two like super like cute little weeaboo girls come up, and they're like, "Are you like Big Lizard?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I am. How's it going?" And I was just like, it's hard to try to keep the world separated sometimes too, And then I did have an insanely enthusiastic, creepy fan show up at my job in Key West. Yeah. And then like I just remember it was the first time I ever got like death threats in my life. Actually, I was like, "Whoa, what did I do to this person?" Like who's fucking Captain Crunch did I shit in today? It was just like, what's going on? And this guy was like, "You let me on, you bitch." I'm like, I've never talked to this person in my life, And I was like, I don't know who this person is. What, and that was really creepy when they showed up to my job. And the good thing, though, about being a federal employee is if you're harassed, it's a felony. So,
yeah, absolutely.
How many people have you had arrested?
I don't know yet. But long story short, I took the emails, I took all the messages and everything. I gave them to my boss, and he literally contacted the FBI, and now that person's on watch. And I told them, and they were told, like, "You go near her again, you're done, son." So yeah, it was really crazy. Like, I just out of nowhere, and poor Besto was terrified. He's like, "I'm gonna walk you to work every day." I lived like 3 blocks from my job, so he was nervous for about 3 weeks. I'm like, "Come on, let's go. He's like, "You ain't gonna do shit against a gun, Liz." I'm like, "Well, they better fucking shoot me in the head," It's just like, "Let's go. I'm gonna go down with a fight," And he was just like, I worry about you. You're gonna get yourself killed, I swear. But I haven't had like anybody like. I mean, that was probably the craziest one I think I had. And I was just like, wow, okay, this person's really mad at me,
Right. That's crazy.
And then I had to tell all my coworkers about it. They all had to know about my cosplay, and that was so embarrassing because I did a boudoir at that time too, and I was like, oh god, they're gonna see it on the internet. It was so embarrassing because I want to be taken as a professional in my current job. I'm a hard worker. I bust my ass to get where I am today. My family didn't, I was first college. I paid my way, scholarships. I worked like 3 part-time jobs at one point in college. Like I busted tail to get where I am today. And to have to also be a female in the service is only like 10 or 12% for like females, and there are already a couple, I really never faced misogynistic people in person until I joined at that specific job. Mm-hmm. So, I got some unpleasant comments afterward, And I was like, oh crap, you know, and some people didn't take me seriously anymore. And it didn't matter, you know, to them that I was guesting at these conventions and making money on the side. You know, they just saw it as like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, look at this person. Like, they're not taking this job seriously. How they even get a degree? You know, I had one guy say to me, you should just quit being, you know, a meteorologist and go to that costume fetish porn. And that one cut deep. That was the first one that really got me. I usually take what people say and brush it off. So I ended up saying, I was like, oh man, what? So I can entertain dinosaurs like you? And I like walked away. And he was like, ha, good one, Liz. You know, and I was like, ha. So I'd always throw the shit back, but that one bothered me. That was the first time I was like, wow, people suck.
Yeah, people do suck.
But you know, and I know other people too. I have a pretty thick skin, you know. You get whatever. You're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's going to happen, you know.
Yeah. And I was a weird kid anyway, and you know, people would like try to bully me or something. I never let people get to me. I never did. I was just like, whatever. I ain't got time for that. I got plans. I got dreams. I got hopes and aspirations. I'm not gonna when I'm on my deathbed, I'm not gonna think of this person, you know.
There you go. Absolutely.
And this was the first real job, you know, and I was working hard and extra and doing all these projects and busting tail, and just to have somebody shoot me down like that I worked so closely with, that hit hard. So, but it was a good lesson, you know, for sure. That you forget sometimes you can get really comfortable in a field like this. There are people who look at cosplay who've never done it, never experienced it. And you're like, wow, who are all these freaking weirdos, you know, like dressing up like costume? Isn't like good enough for them? Do they really have to escape? Oh, they're all attention hungry and seeking and stuff. It's like the attention I'm looking for is fellow people who like the same things I do. You know, yeah. I'm not trying to impress the guy who's, you know, doesn't whatever, you know. I'm just trying to connect with people and find a community. And I love that about cosplay. You have those people. But you also have the other people who are like, look at this freak show, you know, and that's fine too. More power to them. Plenty of people will be like, brr, all you do is make costumes and play video games. And I'm like, how's your fantasy football league going, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
That cuts deep.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just because your team sucked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
well, I mean, that sucks that they, you know, that this guy, and it's going to happen. Yeah. So it's not on you, but that he even informed any opinion. And obviously, you in your position now, you have to be more, you know, professional because you want to. But I mean, just to have for him to have any kind of impact on your feelings or maybe what you thought at the time, that just sucks.
Yeah. Because I worked with a guy and I looked up to him as a mentor. You know what I mean? And that one cut deep. Yeah. So, and I don't have the mindset. You know, I'm not going through life like. I mean, I never understood like why people would get angry at people with like colored hair and tattoos and things like that, or just, you know, things. But after that experience, I was like, wow, people are really like close-minded, you know. It was just one of those things, you know. College, you go to college, you meet your peers, you have a lot of fun, you know, and you step outside of that box into the real world. It's like, bam, wake up. Yeah. So, and I know that if I kept going and doing a lot of that other stuff too, it probably looked bad on me. I mean, even my YouTube stuff now might look bad at me because I'm a terrible comedian. You know, it is what it is. And people might look at that and be like, oh my gosh, she doesn't take her job seriously, but they don't see me working like nonstop, like constantly. Like since I've gotten here, every day, like I have a tropical meteorology Navy book like this thick next to me. You know, I'm trying to learn as much as I can to be the best that I can be at my job. I've always wanted to be like the best, like, and to do the most and to work the hardest. Like that's how I was raised, that's how I was taught, which is probably why I did so well with cosplay, why I got so sucked into being a professional and like trying to, you know, do the grind. I want to be successful at everything I do. Who doesn't, right? Sure. Who doesn't want to be successful?
Absolutely.
It's just, and everybody can have, but people need to understand there's different levels of success, especially in cosplay too. You know, just getting a bunch of likes on a photo and getting to go to a convention doesn't mean somebody is necessarily like a good person, or you know, or they might be a fantastic entertainer, but there's plenty of people there too that are like, you know, the guy that I worked with, you know, so absolutely. it's but I think too, it's up to people to make sure that they're responsible for their own happiness. You know, you make what you get. You know, and listen, I when it comes to like medical, I've been dealt a poopy hand, right? Literally. So
Sure.
I've always taken it in stride. Like, okay, well, this is my adventure. This is my quest. This is what I must overcome. You know, and I've always been a positive person. You know, my mom's single mom. My brother's got Asperger's, and she's taking care of my elderly grandmother. I send money home to help take care of them all the time. And on top of it too, like my brother was 3 days old, she was like, pack a bag, we're leaving, because my dad was not a good guy. So it was just me, mom, and like grandma for like my whole childhood. And I worked as soon as I could. Like I worked at like a fish market for like a year under the table, you know, and then I got a job at like McDonald's, and actually I got a job teaching Taekwondo. And so like I always worked incredibly hard to take care of the people that I love. And I think that's why when that person said that to me so much, it hit so hard, because I worked and climbed and struggled and clawed to get where I was. I wasn't the straight A student. I wasn't the smartest kid in the book, you know, but there was an internship opening, and I sat down with a table of 9 men. And they're like, why should we hire you? And I was like, because I'll bring you your favorite donuts. Let's go. And they all started laughing. And, you know, and it was funny. And the whole interview was just me being serious, but lighthearted. And, you know, like I connected, and I got the job over the 4.0, you know, Poindexter. You know, and I was lucky. I felt like I was lucky to an extent. But I think part of it too was, you know, when I was 12 years old, my mom said to me, you know, she took me mother-daughter work day, and she works midnight still to this day at Walmart, like doing heavy lift and cargo and stuff. And, you know, I remember it was like 1 a.m. We'd only been working like 2 hours, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. She's like, what? You don't want to do this? I'm like, no. You don't want to do this the rest of your life? I'm like, no. She goes, well, get good grades, because, you know, I can't pay for college. You want to be a meteorologist, you got to work for it, you know. And that was kind of like a stark lesson she wanted to teach me, you know. And she definitely raised me not only to love art, but to love myself and how weird I was, you know. All the kids called me Lizard because instead of Elizabeth, they would call me Lizard Breath, because I was so weird. I wasn't like the other kids, you know. And I wore it as a badge of honor ever since I was little. So, you know, I busted butt to get where I am today, you know. And when I got the opportunity to get into cosplay, into the world of it, and even to the level of, you know, a guest, and maybe even potentially making a living out of it, like I was like, I'm gonna be the best at this. But again, I think everybody needs to have that in their mindset, that they got to be positive. If they think they can do it, you know, if you can think it, you can create it. You know what I mean? If you want to carve a hole for yourself on the internet, you can do it. You just got to work hard, and you got to really care about other people too. I think is another good aspect to say. It's not just about you at all. It's about everybody. It's about the people that come to your stream. How you doing? How's your cat feeling? You know, I heard your cat was sick. You know, it's about making a connection in the community and finding that, which is something I do a lot different. So when people look at my Instagram or stuff, I always try to put something positive every day, because there's too much damn negativity in the world, you know? Absolutely. You could be a Debbie Downer, or you could be whatever the opposite is. A Leslie Knope, I guess, but of cosplay. So.
Well, Liz, I don't think we could put it any better as a point to wrap up the conversation about, you know, cosplay conventions and life and empathy in general than what you just kind of said.
Well, we do have to just reiterate, if you're going to slide into the DMs, be creative. I mean, I thought that was the biggest point today.
Listen.
That's right.
Top hat. Put an eggplant costume on it. I'm just saying.
Hat. Yes.
Ain't it purple?
Yeah. Yes. The little leaf on the top, like garnish it. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
You know how many pictures you might get that?
Exactly. I will fucking die laughing hysterically.
All right, fine. I'll go get some purple paint. Give me a minute.
Exactly. Let's go.
I'm going to make mine purple right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta dress it up for the ladies, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Liz.
Also, I am not condoning it. Don't not condone it. But if you send one to me, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh it off.
I can't thank you enough for doing our show. Sure. I want to give you this opportunity to promote whatever you want to promote, to our listeners. We're still a growing show, like you said. We're developing our niche. We're trying to get out there. But what do you got? I know you got your Twitch, you got your Instagram. What do you got?
Yeah, if you like to watch really bad jokes and me cursing more and other eggplant references, I do have a YouTube channel now that I'm
going there right now.
On weekly. Yes, I'm Leaping Lizard on YouTube. I'm Old Leaping Lizard pretty much on everything else. I have a great community of people. We all hang out. We all talk. I try to make more time all the time. But I love my Twitch community. I love my cosplay friends. There's so many amazing people. If you don't follow me already, you can make that poor decision, but I can assure you one thing, that I will share and show you somebody cool in the future at some point. So I love promoting other people. I love sharing other people's work. Awesome. There's so many amazing people out there. And I'm not saying you have to support me fiscally, but if there is a content creator out there you guys like or love, think about throwing them a dollar. It's great to support the art that people are doing. Okay. Please take those people that you love. It doesn't matter if they're big or they're small. And I'm not saying me, just for clarification. I'm not saying me. I'm still going to do it even if I'm making negative dollars, okay? And I'm 90. But just get out there and, support the art, support the people that you love, whether it's just liking their photos or watching the videos or sharing their work. It's up to you guys to make it work, to make people's dreams come to life. And also, come join my community so you can share your dreams with me and vice versa. And I'll tell you way more about my bowel movements on a regular basis. So.
Fantastic.
Well, Liz might not say it. Liz might not say it, but I'm going to tell everyone to go contribute to her fiscally, buy her prints, buy whatever, do whatever you got. She's a great person. There's the lawnmower.
I get that funny feeling now.
Get the purple paint ready.
Purple paint out.
Purple paint ready. Okay. But yeah, thank you guys so much too. And if you guys haven't, follow these dudes on other stuff too, Well, you guys are below and to the side of me, but they're probably just seeing me pointing directions. So
we are seeing you pointing directions. My thing I put up, I think, is just gonna be the 4 windows, but that's fine.
Yeah. And suggest to them other people you want to see. That's another thing.
That's right. There you go.
Send them pretty pictures as well.
I'll take penis pictures if I have to. It's fine. I'll take
whatever you got to do. Whatever I got to do.
Up.
You got to say, what's your favorite color, Mike? You got to tell me your favorite color.
My favorite color is green.
There you go. Oh, mine too.
Yay.
Well, if you're just sending me pictures of balls, you can make them blue.
But if it's dripping green, please don't send me the photo, please. Go
see your doctor.
Please go see a doctor. Please see a physician.
All right, Liz. Thank you very much, Leaping Liz.
Leaping Liz, love you.
Leaping Liz is gonna be leaping out here. So thank you guys so much.
All right, we're gonna take another break. You've been listening to The Usual Saints. Thanks, Liz.
Bye.
Liz, thanks.